Alright, welcome back. Just to recall that we are dealing with two complex numbers, 1 plus 4i and negative 2 minus 2i. And now we're asked to compute what we'll call the absolute value of their product. So the first thing we want to do is multiply them. And we're doing it, we're going to do this out with them in standard form, even though we know what trig form is at this point. So first we got to do z1 times z2. So z1 times z2 would be 1 plus 4i times negative 2 minus 2i. And I'm going to view this multiplication as happening by distributing that 1 plus 4i to both those pieces. So that gives me 1 plus 4i times negative 2 plus 1 plus 4i times the negative 2i. And so now I can distribute this to both pieces there to get negative 2 minus 8i plus, and then I'll distribute the negative 2i to both those pieces to get negative 2i, and then a minus 8. The 4 times negative 2 is a minus 8, and then I squared is a minus 1, so negative 8 and a minus 1 give you a plus 8. And so now we combine our like terms to see that we get a 6 minus 10i. There's 6 minus 10i. So that's not what we wanted, though. We really wanted the absolute value of it. So if I just put absolute value bars around everything here, now what I've got to do is I've got to find the length of, or the distance that this complex number is from 0, or the origin rather. So if I want, I want to plot it here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then down 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do the best I can there. So there's 6 and there's minus 10. And so this would be the, well, it would really just be the square root of, thinking ahead in terms of the Pythagorean theorem. Hopefully you recognize that it's just going to be this, right? And therefore this is the square root of 136. Alright, so there's that. We also want the angle. So the angle would be whatever that angle is. So to get that, so we'll call that theta. To get that, though, we need this angle here, which we'll call A, I guess. So tangent of A is equal to 6 over, or negative 10 over 6, rather. And therefore, A is equal to tan inverse of negative 10 over 6. Which when you put in your calculator, you get 59, negative 59.04 degrees. But of course we want to, what do we actually want to add to that? So therefore angle theta would be, well, it would just be 360 degrees minus 59.04 degrees, or 360 degrees plus negative 59.04 degrees. So our angle, therefore, is 360 plus the negative 0.004 degrees, and when you do that, you get out 300.96 degrees. So just recall what we were doing. We took our complex numbers in the last video we took our complex numbers in the last video and individually we found their magnitude and their direction angle. And in this video we multiplied them and found the magnitude of the product and the angle of the product. Okay, the product of the two complex numbers is this here. So what I'd like you to do is think about these two questions. Describe the relationship between the magnitudes that you got and the angles. So I'm not going to do this out. I want to leave this to you to think about. Okay? So I'm sure it won't take too much messing around before you actually come up with something. So try to do that on your own.